Anyone running for office right now faces the daunting task of building back our economy. In New York City, one of the early hotspots of the COVID-19 pandemic, that's especially true. We asked one mayoral candidate about his plan to grow the city's economy. And joining us now is Shaun Donovan. He was the Housing and Urban Development Secretary and the head of OMB under former President Barack Obama, and now he's running for mayor of New York City. Shaun, thanks so much for joining.
Andy, it's great to be with you. Thanks for having me.
Anyone running for office in the near future, yourself included, is going to be tasked with taking on the biggest economic downturn in modern history. Part of your plan to address this issue for the city of New York is to invest in walkable infrastructure. Can you tell us what that means?
Well, Andy, first of all, no one in this race has the experience I do leading again and again through crisis, including being called on by President Obama to lead our recovery from the Great Recession. And what I know is that more and more in this modern economy, talent decides where to live and companies and capital follow. And we know that people are demanding livable, walkable cities. It's why we've seen an influx into our cities across this country these last few decades. And as mayor, I want to lead the way in creating the most livable, walkable city in the world in New York. And what it really means is ensuring that every New Yorker lives in what I call a 15-minute neighborhood, where they can find within 15 minutes of their front door everything they need for a life of opportunity. You know, a great school for their kids, a job that sustains their family, the healthcare that they need to get a COVID test or a vaccine, but also a park and fresh food, everything that really makes New York, New York. I want to amplify that and ensure everyone has it within 15 minutes of their front door, so it's an equitable city as well.
We have sections of New York which are very accessible to rapid transit. And like a lot of other cities in the country, that's just not the case. In certain pockets of the city, deep into some of the outer boroughs, Staten Island in particular, obviously this is going to cost a lot of money. How, in your plan, do you intend to pay for that?
Well, first of all, Andy, we got to recognize that the single most important way we can predict the life chances of a child, even their life expectancy right now, is the zip code they grow up in. And that's fundamentally wrong. We have to change that by providing opportunity and transportation as part of it in every single neighborhood. And clearly, this is a New Deal moment. We have an opportunity with a $2.3 trillion jobs plan being considered in Washington to make sure New York City gets its fair share and that we're investing in this infrastructure like no time in our lifetimes. And, you know, Fiorello LaGuardia, he was the most transformational mayor in the history of New York because he partnered with FDR when he was president at the last New Deal moment. At this New Deal moment, we need a mayor in City Hall who has that deep relationship with President Biden, who knows how to go get the funding that we need in Washington and to bring it here to invest in bus rapid transit and all the solutions we need to really end the problem of transit deserts and make every neighborhood a 15-minute neighborhood.
This is a national trend. This kind of started in Portland, Oregon. We've seen this happening in Detroit. Tons of other cities have kind of made a pledge to do this kind of thing. And this is kind of on the heels of this massive infrastructure plan. We have one obviously coming from the Biden administration, but the GOP putting up their alternative. So what's your take on what's coming out of Washington?
Well, I think it's a huge opportunity. And Andy, as someone who studied architecture and planning, who's worked with communities for 30 years to make them more equitable, to bring opportunity to them, I really do think this is a once in a lifetime opportunity. As I said, a New Deal moment to be able to bring that investment. And I'm encouraged that President Biden is working aggressively to make sure that obviously he got his rescue plan passed at $2 trillion. This is a huge opportunity to go the next step.
Shaun Donovan, he is the former HUD Secretary under Barack Obama, and he's running for mayor of New York. Shaun, thanks so much for joining.
Thank you, Andy. It's great to be with you.